The first pint-sized stock literally fueling up is Gevo. The sustainable fuels company is getting even more cheers since it revealed plans to significantly expand its ethanol production capacity at its facility in Richardson, North Dakota. Gevo is considering building a second ethanol plant at the site, capable of producing up to 75 million gallons per year of low-carbon ethanol. This would complement a previously announced upgrade to increase the existing plant's capacity from 67 to 75 million gallons annually. If both initiatives move forward, the site could reach a total output of about 150 million gallons per year. A key component of Gevo's strategy is integrating ethanol production with carbon capture and sequestration. The facility already has infrastructure in place to capture and store carbon dioxide, allowing it to generate additional revenue through carbon markets while lowering life cycle emissions. The captured carbon dioxide can be permanently stored or used in industrial applications like enhanced oil recovery. This integrated approach also supports the production of sustainable aviation fuel through alcohol-to-jet pathways. Gevo sees the North Dakota location as strategically advantageous due to strong agricultural productivity, supportive energy policies, and existing infrastructure. It's evaluating financing options and working with local stakeholders while positioning itself to benefit from renewable fuel standards and growing global demand for low-carbon fuels, particularly as conventional carbon-heavy fuels, aka good old gasoline, is under pressure due to conflict in the Middle East. Another area yielding big potential is, of course, AI. So naturally, Hyperscale data gained lots of attention from its subsidiary Alliance Cloud Services, agreeing to acquire approximately 48.5 acres of land in Michigan. This purchase will more than double its footprint in the region, bringing total ownership to about 83 acres. The expansion supports Hyperscale's long-term plan to scale its AI and high-performance computing data center campus, which is already under phased development and is expected to reach 340 megawatts of power capacity by 2029. The Michigan facility currently serves both Bitcoin mining and AI cloud services, reflecting its dual-use strategy. The newly acquired land is expected to accommodate advanced infrastructure, such as high-density liquid cooling systems and next-generation hardware deployments. This move aligns with Hyperscale Data's broader strategy to focus on its core data center operations while divesting non-core assets by 2027. It emphasizes that the expansion demonstrates a long-term commitment to the region and positions it to meet rapidly growing demand for AI computing capacity. Going back to clean energy, Workhorse, a manufacturer of electric commercial vehicles, announced that it has received a purchase order for 100 electric step vans from Purolator. This order will double the number of Workhorse vehicles in Purolator's fleet and builds on an ongoing partnership between the two companies. Deliveries are scheduled throughout this year. Workhorse has produced over 1,100 electric vehicles that have collectively driven more than 20 million miles. Its manufacturing facility in Indiana has the capacity to produce over 5,000 vehicles annually. Elsewhere on the clean energy horizon is the appropriately named Clean Energy Technologies. It's announced a non-binding agreement with Hoppy Power to evaluate deploying its waste-to-energy technology in Westlock, Alberta. The project would use its proprietary high-temperature pyrolysis system to convert waste materials, such as municipal solid waste, agricultural residues, and forestry byproducts, into syngas for power generation. Each modular unit is expected to produce up to 2 megawatts of power and process up to 12,000 tons of waste annually. The Westlock site is being assessed for its access to feedstock, infrastructure, and supportive development conditions. The project is intended as an initial demonstration that could lead to broader commercial deployment if successful. Clean Energy Technologies aims to validate the technology, secure permits, and finalize agreements, with potential execution beginning in late 2026. The system is designed to be scalable and economically viable, generating revenue from multiple streams including waste processing fees, electricity generation, and byproducts such as biochar. Clean Energy Technologies views this as a step toward building a repeatable model for distributed waste-to-energy solutions across multiple locations. Next, there's Faraday Future, which says it's making early progress in its robotics business. March marked its first month of deliveries for humanoid and bionic robots, with 22 units contracted and shipments expected to exceed its initial target of 20 units. It's aiming to deliver 200 units within its first quarter of operations in this segment. Faraday Future is developing an ecosystem centered on what it calls a device data brain model, in which deployed robots and vehicles generate data that improves AI systems, which in turn enhances product performance and drives further adoption. FF is exploring applications for its robots in areas such as education, retail, research, and public safety. It recently showcased its technology at a public safety event in Houston, demonstrating robots designed for patrol, information services, and crowd management. Faraday Future also highlighted progress in integrating its robotics and electric vehicle platforms, allowing shared capabilities and improved user experiences. It plans to continue expanding deployments and use cases while strengthening its position in embodied AI.